This could be a great opening, like every day. Forget any other song, you know. To all of my Gator brethren, tip the hat to Tom Petty. And you got
Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. I guess there's just more stories to share. There's so much good stuff. How's everybody doing today?
You what?
How's everybody doing today? Tell us something good.
There you go. I'm learning to fly. I think we're learning to fly every single day. Good morning, Ben Sterner. Joining
Ben Sterner in the house. Good morning.
JC Dornick.
Good morning, JC.
He's putting out some cool stuff. Love Dragon, baby. Oh, we're getting the big crowd today.
Morning,
Scotty. CEOs, Sterner. Love it.
Love it. Darren McKee, appreciate you being just a regular and on fire.
I'm learning to fly.
Muhammad.
There's Jake coming in from Gainesville.
It's because we gave him a wake-up call 30 minutes ago.
Jake, when they play this in the stadium, man, I don't think there's a better sports moment ever. Forget about what happens in Boston with Caroline. Forget that.
I love it.
Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday.
Winning Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. What's going on Wednesday? What's good? What's good? That's my thing. What's good? What's good? What's good?
I like that a lot.
Good morning, Christy.
Christy, your video is smashing the internet. Love it.
Buenos dias, Luis. Good morning, Paul.
Mark, have you met Luis Martinez?
So we met at the Super Bowl event that we were at with Josh Full.
Solid dude.
Yeah.
Solid dude.
Great person in the
Thank
network.
you,
Christy, great video. Great video. Shout out to the whole City Furniture fam, doing great things, getting themselves out there on social, using video to change the way they lead, change the way they communicate. Just awesome stuff going on within that organization.
So just to point it out, though, you know, she jumped out of her comfort zone and basically spoke about being a senior executive with kids in the house, virtual learning, first day back to school, changing schedules, for most people, a complete shitstorm. And she handled it, and she's making the changes. She's doing that sexy word now called pivoting, making it happen. She is learning to fly. If you're not following Christy, please do. Oh, and by the way, it's a cool place to buy furniture.
Yes, it is.
Good morning. So, first of all, shout out to you, young Nudelberg, because yesterday's conversation was on fire, man. Forgiveness, tons of great stuff. I had a bunch of people reach out who want to do virtual coffee and all that kind of stuff. So super thrilled, super happy that you did that. I think you did great.
Great Tuesday. It was a great Tuesday, and I'm glad that we got to talk about that fundamental to success.
And you know what's interesting? You and I are sending information back and forth, and you're triggering me, and I'm triggering you. And one of the things I thought about this morning during my workout, which, by the way, I listened to Tom Petty in my whole workout. So that's really what the inspiration was, to have him do the more music this morning. But the fact that you and I are partners, anybody can create an accountability partner. You sent me an article this morning that slipped by me, all the reading I do, all the scouring, everything I have that comes to me through the internet. I missed it. You found it. That was the best article I've read in a really long time. So good morning, Joseph Mulry. He's new to the Huddle, but he's using LinkedIn the right way. He's a senior executive who is looking to make a career change. So for those that are in the Huddle that know of an opportunity for a real quality guy, Joseph Mulry is your man. I told him I would try and help him. So great stuff. Today's conversation, let's get right into it.
Sure.
I'll talk about the word influence. Then we'll talk about some chatter, social media fodder, if you will. And then we'll get right into what about influence and what does it really mean. But here's the definition. It's the capacity to have an effect on character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Influence. We think about what we do as business professionals. If you are incapable of creating influence on somebody else, forget about whether you're getting paid or not. There's plenty of jobs where, you can cook French fries. Well, sales is not one of them.
Influencer is such a word in today's world, and we're going to talk about kind of how the world is changing and what's happening as we go on through the content. But being an influencer is critical to being a leader. It's critical to being a sales professional. It's critical to just being a good person. If you have good influence on people, I don't give a shit if you're a janitor, right? How great was the article about the janitor, right? So that's a whole nother conversation that we can jump off into. But here's a woman who embodied her role as a janitor, and all she did was influence people the right way, day in and day out. And I mean, it's football, but it is what it is. Nick Saban talks about it all the time. I don't care if you're the janitor, be the best janitor you can be, take pride in what you do, and influence the people around you in the right way. So I love the fact that we're talking about influence.
People notice all of that. She will be on Tell Me Something Good. Tammy McKenzie, she's amazing. So look out for her. Before we jump into the meat of it, let's just talk about people whose birthday it is today. A Huddle shout out to Ken DeBrito. Happy birthday, young man. Certainly a man of influence. And then some famous people who, when you bring up their name, Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa influenced generations. And what you find out is that people who really, really do influence don't do it on purpose. They do it because it's part of how they operate, what they think. Another happy birthday shout out to Macaulay Culkin. And tell me that Home Alone didn't influence just some crazy, crazy shit. So happy birthday to those people of influence.
For sure.
There was another guy who I don't even know if people actually know who this actor is, but I talked about it in one of the previous huddles. Tom Hardy, who, when I was in the theater watching the coming attractions for Batman, and I was like, who is that villain? Because that guy scared the shit out of me. And then I found out Tom Hardy's done so much stuff. His Twitter account is one of my favorites. So this will lead us down a path. Some people don't understand that sitting in your own house alone, in peace, eating snacks, and minding your own business is fucking priceless. Does the guy get it or what? I mean, he puts out some great stuff. This is what the pandemic taught us. Is that, listen, you can run around and do it. That's influence right there. That is a guy who is influencing people by his words. I love it.
Shout out to Paul Rushton, because Tom Hardy is English, right? So we're going across the channel. Unbelievable movies that Tom Hardy has been in. If you don't know him, go look up his filmography. It's phenomenal. And there's tons of great stuff out there to watch from him. He's one of my favorite actors.
Well,
really enjoy watching him.
He actually is also in the movie Venom, which Jake had not watched Venom. I told him he had to. Venom is a fantastic superhero movie because it has a lot of underlying themes that you learn from. With all of us have Venom inside of us. It's what you do to control it. And the dialogue in that movie is incredible. So speaking about food, he was talking about snacks. I figured we'd talk about some food items that, just for fun. So in weird news this week, crazy, a Swiss town was coated in cocoa powder after a factory glitch. It snowed particles of fine powder in Olton after the ventilation system at one of the factories, chocolate factory, malfunctioned. So it actually was snowing cocoa.
Which, I would have been all about it. Like, let me get a little fingertip. Let me get a little taste out of the air. I'm all about it.
Can you imagine sitting outside, just letting it rain, letting it snow, man? I love it. Just
Although if my car was outside, I would be very pissed.
so well, it'd be kind of weird, people coming up licking your car.
Oh, go ahead.
Go. I'm going to hand the ball to
you. In more food news, right? And this really goes long because this is going to take us off on a little bit of a direction as well. Gen Z doesn't like branding. And for those of you who don't know who Gen Z is, that's like 8 to 12 years old all the way to 25. So it's my brother Jake's generation for sure. They are Gen Z. They don't like branding. So Doritos is going with a new approach, and they're going with the Prince approach. They are dropping all words and they're only running with the logo, which for me, I love the idea of this because I see a triangle. I think one thing. I think Doritos the whole way. You show me a triangle at an angle, I'm thinking Doritos the whole way. So they've dropped the actual name from the Twitter handle and it says logo goes here and it's just a triangle. And they're doing this to try to approach the Gen Zers because they've become accustomed to the no ad world, right? They live in they live in the no commercial world where everything comes to them through some form or fashion, through an influencer or through a post or some kind of way, which brings me to the topic that I've been talking about a lot recently with people is the scroll stopper, right? That's the way you brand in today's world is you have to be a scroll stopper. So if they're rolling through their Twitter timeline and they see something that's a triangle, that's got a picture of something, they're trying to stop the scroll. That's the main goal for what they're trying to do. And then in a 6 to 8 second window, they're trying to get them to consume some information to build brand within that Gen Z's world. Because in my opinion, if you don't like Doritos, I don't know what you're doing.
I mean, that is such a great correlation to what social media is about, when you're marketing yourself and that's creating influence by the power of what you have to say along the lines of food. And these companies are really, really being innovative, I think. I don't know if you've seen the McDonald's commercials, but the McDonald's commercials are, I think, the best on TV. Like
get the fries, otherwise your fries become
how many times can you imagine reaching over to get someone's fry? It's like,
for sure.
All right, so KFC, which has really kept their name in the news a lot. We talked about, the clogs that they did and all of this stuff. So I think this is real clever, influencing your decision on what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat. They are suspending finger licking good because they feel that it's not appropriate in a corona or pandemic culture. How about them apples?
Shout out to the Facebook user who said Starbucks did this. I can't see your name, but Starbucks did this in 2011. They dropped all words off of the cups and went with only a logo. So shout out to KFC. Shout out to Doritos. McDonald's is doing a great job with their messaging. Are we going to touch on the last one for Budweiser? Because I think this is really important as well.
I'll go for it. Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. So this is the ultimate of how the world is being influenced by different things. And we talk about this in our training, how you communicate, what tools you use, what's available to you. So CMO in my world always meant Chief Marketing Officer. Budweiser is now hiring, or has already hired, a new kind of CMO. It is a Chief Meme Officer. And that means, listen, for me, 18 months ago, I had no idea what a meme was, let alone now I use it in generally all of my online conversations because they live it up, whether I'm texting, whether I'm on LinkedIn, I'm responding to people, boom, all that kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd give you the history of the word meme is actually fairly easy to track down. First appearing in Richard Dawkins' 1976 book, The Selfish Gene. Dawkins used to describe an idea, behavior, or style that spreads from person to person within a culture. Goodbye. Thank you. That's your lesson for the day. If you don't listen to that, that is what sales is today. Sales is not me pushing and jamming shit down your throat. Sales is about creating, describing an idea, a behavior, a style that spreads. And if you're good enough at what you do, it will come. Build it and they will come. So that leads us to perfect timing. A book that I'm going to recommend, Robert Cialdini, and I hope I didn't shatter his name because I know what that is. He wrote a book called Influence, which is basically about the science of pure persuasion. And he talked about 5 elements. And I thought, what better way to sum up this influence conversation than to give you those 5? Is that okay, Mark? Can I give you those 5? Can you give me 5? Give me 5.
Give me 5 on a Wednesday.
All right, cool. So the first one of influence is reciprocation. It refers to the human need to return the favor. I do lots of favors. I freely do what people ask me. Please ask me, and I will reciprocate it as the number one way to create influence. It dates back to what we talked about, the say-do ratio. If you say you're going to do something, do it, and people remember that. So that is number one and very key if you want to create influence. Because listen, there's a lot of people who call themselves influencers, Instagram influencers, that are completely full of shit and fraud. So go.
It's 100%. I think when you talk about the reciprocation and the human need to return the favor, the easiest way to deliver a favor to somebody is to introduce them to someone. Like I've got 3 on my list today, people that I'm just connecting because I know that they need help and I think they might be able to have a good conversation to be able to do that. So number 2 is consistency. Refers to the human need to save face in front of others. In human societies, we respect people who do not change their stance. For example, if you build personal rapport with a prospect by genuinely asking how they're doing, they're going to feel motivated to consider your offer later on down the road. So, and instead of asking, how are they doing, right? You should be asking them, tell me something good, because you want to get them moving in the right direction. If tell me something good doesn't work, what's good? Tell me what's good, what's happening in your life right now to get them moving on a positive track in order to influence their mind to think positively and get them looking at you in a great way.
By the way, young Nudelberg, if we were playing basketball, that would be called a layup. This one's a doozy. Social proof. If you want to be an influencer, you prove it socially, and social media has done that in such an amazing way, because when I talk about the words that I use in our sales process, visit, fit, and value, the way we provide value to City Furniture, social proof. It's not bullshit. You can't fake that. We're doing good stuff there. Ask them. They'll tell you. That's social proof. By showing who you do business with and what you do and all the recommendations and referrals, those are all social proof. This is the work we're doing. Don't believe us. This is the Yelp mentality. Very, very, very serious conversation.
I love this. Number 4 is liking. Refers to an old truism that we do business with people that we like. People, number 1, buy from people, and they buy from people that they know, like, and trust, which is something that we talk about all the time. And there's no better way to build rapport with people in today's world than through your social media channels. How are you sharing what's genuine and authentic and important to you to create likes within your community? Not just actual clicks of likes, but the fact that somebody sees something that triggers a good positive thought in their mind about you is how you create influence with them at scale in today's world.
And then the final one for today, and we could go on, and you guys can actually offer up your own view of what creating influence is. This is just 5 that really, if you pin them on the wall or pin them on your computer and say, you know what, I'm going to operate every day with this mindset, and I'm going to click through all of these things. The last one is trusted authority. I want to be one of the guys, not the guy, one of the people, one of the gals, one of the guys that people ask when they have a problem in sales, when they're frustrated, because you can't fake that shit. When someone asks me, number 1 is, and I spoke to Kim Swears about this yesterday, and I love the work that we're doing with her because she just gets out in front of it. We were talking that, this trusted authority, you can't fake that. People know that. They see you, and you know what? I don't care about your opinion. I'm not asking you to validate mine. The reality is, say hello.
Yeah, I love it.
Man.
Love it.
The whole idea about being a trusted authority is you need to stand out in front of it and say, this is what my thought is, and whether you like my thought or not is irrelevant. It's my thought. More often than not, if you do what I say because I'm a trusted advisor, that's how you create influence, because people walk away going, wow, you know what? You have the confidence to stand out there and say something different than everybody. And there's no better example than all of the schmucks who are talking about add everybody on LinkedIn. It's so stupid. The reality is, like, if I didn't know you and I knocked on your front door, would you just go, yeah, come right in, come into my house, just hang out, take food, do whatever you want, have a Dorito if you like? No, of course not. It's just not reality. So trusted authorities are the ones who get out in front of it, have a thought, and stick to it. So I don't know, Mark, if you want to close us with that kind of, what trusted authority is. You're fairly new to the sales game, but your value proposition is, I'm going to share with you what I learned from football and what I learned in sales right away, whether you like it or not.
And it's interesting because while I'm new to the sales, as a sales professional, I'm new. When you're built the right way and you understand how to build relationships, whether that's just in person, like my entire football career was created because I sold myself to everybody that I worked with. How did I sell myself? I created value with everybody that I interacted with, and I created influence with everybody that I interacted with. So those fundamentals, while they're so important to sales as a profession, where are they not? I commented on somebody's post yesterday about communication. There are certain fundamentals that are just requirements to building relationships, that if you build solid relationships, you create influence with those people. So it all comes back every single time after time. I got asked something from a recent Florida State grad yesterday. They connected with me on LinkedIn, and I got to share the message actually, because they're just looking for help. They see what I'm doing on LinkedIn and they're looking for help on how to do it. I'm more than willing to do it, but they asked the question, what was the key to your success going from one to the other? And I said, relationships and hard work. Simple. Very, very simple. Build relationships and work your ass off. So while you're building influence with people, understand that it's critical to build the relationship.
Wow. A home run question from Richard Gaff. By the way, phenomenal maternity pictures. Congratulations to you and your wife. We'll be praying for a happy and a healthy birth there. They were really cool. The green blazer, boom, smoking. But you ask a question and I'll share it. You're seeing it. People buy from people they like. No like and trust is really what it is. But what are the boundaries from preventing prospects from becoming friends and not wanting to do business with you? I can tell you from experience that most of my people who have done business with me, whether they've done business with me or not, have become friends. And my attitude towards whether they do business or not is like, there's no pressure. I think where salespeople go wrong is they become friends with somebody and then they have an expectation, well, we're friends, we should do business. To be honest with you, I don't want my friends to do business with me. I have become friends with people who have started as a client and become friends, but your friends always stretch over the boundaries. They always want more. They don't want to pay for it. They start out with this one. Hey, can I pick your brain? Which is just really code for, can you do what you do for free for me? It's like, you're the best, but do it for free. So what an amazing, amazing question to put out there, because I go out every single day, as Mark does, building relationships with the intent on making friends with people. And if they do business with me, it's a bonus. You want to bring us home, Mark? Because that was, the best question I've heard yet.
I think that the boundaries that are there are the boundaries that really shouldn't exist. If there's a boundary to you becoming friends, that same boundary is probably going to be the thing that gets in the way of you guys doing business. And it's the same conversation I have with the leaders that I'm working with, of the people that they're leading, is if you feel that there's a boundary to you allowing somebody that you're leading into your personal space to know who you are and what you're really about, you'll never really lead that person. The influence comes from the relationship and being connected. So whatever those boundaries are, you need to remove them, because that's the real boundary to success.
I love it. So this was awesome. If you guys have not noticed, but a lot of you have, the content is upped because every other day now he's going for it. He did great yesterday. The bar was high for me. So wait till you see what we have in store. It's really great. We're really
shall return the volley tomorrow.
Right. So I know that he's going to come with a smoking ace tomorrow. I can feel it. So thank you for all your support. If there's topics or words that you want to hear us discuss, throw it at us. We're happy to sort of do whatever you throw at us. But thank you. What a great learning Wednesday. Go out and create influence. And I'll leave you with this. If you walked into a room and you saw somebody on fire, who would everybody be looking at? Person on fire, man. Go out and get on fire. See ya.
Stay on the ball.